So this is Baruch at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. It's time for the night Zohar. Night is dark. It's a time of denim right now. So we're coming over here to learn Parshas Pinchas. Pinchas is a go-to Zohar for nighttime. So he's been talking about these two vavs. There's two vavs, and then vav, when you spell it out, you put an aleph in between, it becomes vav al above. That spells the word vav. Talked a little bit about what was going on in that aleph that's in between the two vavs. The vav refers to the vav Kislev, Zeranpin. So here we said the kanfechem sochachim bekanfechem al bris. So we were talking about the cherubs who lifted up their wings up above to be able to receive the shepherd that's coming from up above them. Over there, we said it referred to the concept of Yisod. Let's see what we can translate here, what we can understand in the word. Sochachim means they go around bekanfechem al bris. They surround the bris. Now, if you haven't figured out this yet, and you haven't really understood, a basic concept in the Zohar is Shmiras HaBris, is guarding the bris. Now, I've been around learning in the yeshivas for many years. I was never really a Litvak, but maybe ethnically that's it. But their concept is they never talk about this at all, but they do it. In other words, they guard their bris. They get married at the right time. They hold themselves the right. It may not be perfect, so you could do better. But Shmiras HaBris is the subject, one of the main subjects of the Zohar. So Sochim bekanfechem al bris, so they surround the bris with their wings, the Ihu Vav Dinyana, which is the second Vav. We had talked about an upper Vav, a lower Vav. But Tzadik Yisod Oilam, and then there's this concept Tzadik. Now the word Tzadik always goes with the word Yisod. My name is Baruch, so I'm not saying I'm a Tzadik, but the concept Yisod is the mouth that flows, everything that flows out of it. And that's Baruch is also a concept like that. But Tzadik Yisod Olam is the foundation, but it means the Yisod. The Tzadik is the Yisod, and from that the world comes out. Begin do, and for this reason, Netzach and Hod, which are the two legs. Tochnim man l'tzedikaya. They grind up man. So when we think of this, we think of the man from the desert, l'tzedikaya for the tzaddikim. But I know that in Kabbalah, man means bringing up prayers, Torah. They grind this man, this Torah, the prayer, this desire to unite yourself with the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. So he said, Tochanim man l'tzedikaya, for the tzaddikim. So earlier, or even this morning, we saw in a different place, in a different concept, you were talking about the tzaddik, which is called Yosef, who represents Yisod Zeranpin, and the tzaddik, who is called Binyamin, who represents the Yisod of the Nukva Zeranpin. Let's read on. The Inan, the Sifta, the tzaddik Yisod Oila, because they come from the side of the tzaddik, which is the Yisod of the universe. The Ihu Benaihu, that they are, he is, that Yisod is between them. Begin door, and for this reason is Kariya Tolchanos. That's why it's called grinding. Now, the idea about this grinding doesn't really compute by me. So we're gonna be blessed with understanding this from the point of view of the Holy Matak Midrash, Rabbi Daniel Frisch. Sorry. Here we go. This is it here. This is where it comes in this our little piece. Umasha calls it bechuruvim. So we're talking about the churuvim. Sochim b'kanfeihem al hakaparis. So they surround with their wings the ark cover. Keneged zeh. So in this sense, you can, so that's like a physical image or an image that we can easily apply to our minds because we can imagine what cheruvim look like. I mean, there's all kinds of statues and so on and so forth. And we can imagine what a kapparas looks like over an Aron Kodesh. We can imagine that's easy to imagine. He said, kapparas, keneged zeh netzach and ho, but not so easy to understand is panimi to that thought are netzach and hod of olam atzilus. That is the two pillars, the two legs. Now listen what he says. He says, "Sochim b'kanfechem al bris." So they surround with their wings these cheruvim, the bris. Heim sochim b'kanfechem al bris. Shuha yisod the nikra kaparis, which is the yisod, which is also called the kaparis, which is like lashon Yom Kippur. The place of return. I guess the place of repentance. I'm not sure what the kaparis actually means. Just looking at for a second, just taking, you have 600 and 700. It makes the number 700. Wow. 700 is lashon malchus. So he said, "V'kanfechem ala bris shuhu hayisod hanikra." The yisod is also called kaparas, which is 700. The yuhu vav tinyana, which is the second vav. Shuhu vav hashniya shal vav aleph vav. So when we spell out the word vav, it comes out with the one vav with an aleph in between the two vavs. So it's the second vav. V'alav ne'emar, in regards to this, it says, "But Tzadik yisod olam, v'gin do netzach b'hod tochanim man l'tzadikai." Now I really need help with this idea. Let's read the words again. He says, this is the second vav. So he said, what is this concept? Is that their wings surround the bris. So he says, and it's surround, we have this word kaporos. It's surrounding the kaporos. Shehu vav hashniya. So here we're talking about the second vav that comes from the letters vav aleph vav. That is the milui. It's called a milui because we're spelling out the word. That's what milui means here. V'lav ne'emar, and it says like this. Now we have this phrase, and here it comes. But Tzadik yisod olam. So we've heard this word, especially if you learn Chassidus or anywhere. Tzadik yisod olam. The Tzadik is the foundation of the world. No, Tzadik is yisod. Yisod is the font from which everything pours of the universe. Again, netzach v'hod, and because of this, the Tzadik, which is yisod, netzach and hod, which are on the sides of the yisod, tochanim man l'tzadikayim. They grind up the man for the tzaddikim. Now let's see what he says. The Matuk says to translate. V'lechein, v'lekach, netzach and hod, the two legs, with the bris in between them, tochanim man l'tzaddikim, la'asi levo, for the world to come. The fi shehem na'asa merkava, because what happens there? Netzach and hod become a vehicle, a chariot, l'siferis, u'makabdi b'menach ha'shefa. So chariots or vehicles don't just go up, they go down. So here we have a concept of Tiferes. Netzach and Hod are part of Tiferes. They're tochanim man the tzaddikim the ase the vod the vishehem the ase merkava the Tiferes, because they become an agent. Here's the word, the agent, like a pipeline for Tiferes. And as a result of that, the tremendous amount of shefa from Tiferes comes into Netzach and Hod. The Ina Misit, the Tzadik Yisod Oilim, because they come from the side of the Tzadik, which is Yisod Oilim. Vehem Mitzad Yisod. They come from the side of Yisod, Ki Hu Kolel Osam, because here's what happens. If you have the book, or if you had a picture handy of the drawing by the Ramchal, of the flow chart of how light flows, then you see that everything that comes from Zeir Anpin, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, and then you get Netzach, Hod, and Netzach and Hod are the bottom pipelines that feed right into Yisod. And this is what he's saying, Ve'hem Mitzad Yisod, Kihu Kolel Osam, because it incorporates Yisod incorporates them into that, in itself, the Yehu Benaihu, because it is in between the two. The two flow like two rivers that are flowing at a certain point. Yisod Shehu B'kabim Soy, because the Yisod is in the middle line, and it's down lower. Hu Bein Netzach and Hod, and as a result, it's between Netzach and Hod. And this is where it receives the man. Now here, man, okay, it doesn't mean what I said. So here he means the shefa, bracha, that come from up above to down below. So they receive the shefa bracha, and they refine it by grinding it. Now, the use of the word grinding is really what I'm looking about. Begin da iskaria tochan. The chain, so there he said, nikroim, and that's a chanot tochanot. Why? The fisha teichenen in the tzaddikim, man the tzaddikim, I said it wrong. The fisha teichenen, because they grind up this shefa. In other words, they distribute it. They remember we're saying all of these midas as their anpin in their way they're all gevuros because mida means gevura in its sense that it's a limitation. Anything which is mismayat the light that makes the light less, that's a concept of the gevura. And so they come and they grind up this shefa which is coming down. And I guess I'm not sure there's still what grinding means, but I mean it means refining in some way. And they do this for man to feed the tzaddikim, which are the yisodos of Zohar V'no. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator, called out Night Zohar.